Hello everybody, Mealworm here. We're going to talk about different fits and upgrade paths for your venture to go out and go mining. Now, I'm not going to go over all of the differences between all of the different ventures, but there are some differences between them that I'll just state as we kind of move through the video here. So to start off with, the simplest is going to be our high slots. You're just going to want to fit the highest level of miner that you can. In this case, they're fives for me. There are some faction miners out there, the ion and the single diode. They are very expensive. The cheapest one, the single diode for is 15 mil, and the ion's about 26 mil. So you can definitely get those later down the road. Just start off with the basics for now. If you've got the cash to spend, then go ahead and do it. That's basically it. Now, one small note, the Venture 3 is the only version that has 3 high slots. All of the others only have 2 high slots. So do keep that in mind if you're planning on purchasing a full kit at once. That's the main difference on the Venture 3. We're just going to glaze over mid slots and drones because with the current state of the game, drones are practically useless and there are no mining drones. So no need for that. And for mid slots, there's no sub weapons that we're ever going to need to use in the venture, so we're just going to glaze over those as well. So those are just going to stay blank. Now, low slots. The Venture 2 and the Venture 3 are the only ones that have 3 low slots. The Trainer and the 1 standard Venture only have 2. So you are only going to be able to get 2 of these at once, and we'll go through that. Now, one thing that if you have 3 slots, I recommend always taking an afterburner with you. It's just going to make you a little bit faster to squeeze out of those stickier situations and to move around the ore field. It's definitely not required, so you can definitely stack up some more defense mods, or if you only have 2 low slots, you can go ahead and skip that. Now, the ventures do have innate bonuses to their stability. The 2 and 3 have 2, and the trainer and the 1 both have 1 stability. So we do need a little bit more to make sure we don't get locked down, which is where the warp core stabilizers come into play. Now, all of the basic stabilizers, the Mark 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9, all have the same basic bonus, which is an innate 1 to the strength, minus strength, and another one when it's activated. Meaning, if you're in the Venture 2 or 3, when activated, you're at a stabilization of 4, and then 3 on the trainer and the basic. That is going to be good enough to stop any single person, probably even 2 ships, both with, a single faction. However, once you get to a little bit more, or ships that are stacking them, it is going to get a little hot. So there is an upgrade path that you can take with the Warp Core Stabilizer, and let's pull that up here on the market, and that is one of the named Warp Core Stabilizers. And that is going to give you a much bigger bonus to your stabilization. And swinging the thruster upgrades here, and that is the Aura Warp Core. So this is going for about it will fluctuate between 8 and 10 million. Now, the reason it's so expensive is because you have basically double the bonus that you would with the standard Warp Core Stabilizer. So an 8 2 and then another 2 when activated. So bringing your final total, if you're in a 2 or 3, to a stabilization of 6, which is enough to get away from even a small fleet. So this is definitely going to be a good upgrade path for you once you get that 8 mil. For reference, you can pick up one of these cheapy guys here for less than 20, no problem. So that's going to be a very cheap and easy part. So moving on to the next is going, in my case, is a shield extender. Now I have the Wolf small shield extender on here because the market's weird, and this is cheaper than the Mark V and it's better than the Mark V. It has a little bit more power grid and activation cost, but since we're not running mids, it doesn't matter. So the nice thing about the shield extenders is it's going to give you a flat increase to your shields, and it's going to give you that much again when it's activated. So this is going to make you just a little bit more tanky. And we'll get into making your shields more effective when we get to the rigs, but the Venture is a shield tank. It's where most of its HP lives, so it's always good just to go ahead and add on to that. The other things that you can run in the low slots, you can run a DCU, or a damage control unit, and that is going to not give you any flat boosts to your shield or your armor mounts, but what it's going to do is it's going to give you resistances to everything. So on the bottom, the Mark V is about 2 million, and this is going to give you, you can see, flat resistances to everything. And while this might look like a small number, it's actually going to get boosted by 800%, so 8 times when it's activated, bringing all of these up to insane amounts. You're basically going to be near impervious. And if you go this route and you like running the damage control, you can certainly upgrade to the all round, which is going to bring, it's going to be much more expensive, but it's going to bring that up to 8. So this is a 2% here, but when you factor in this bonus here, it's going to chunk up and it's going to make you impervious and you're going to be able to jump out of anywhere you need. So that's another option. A little bit more expensive than the shield extenders themselves. Some people do like to run shield hardeners, and this is one of those ways that you can get your effective shield HP higher. So you can run the reactives, which is just going to give you those resistances right then and there when it's activated, and those are always helpful. The adaptives are going to be, oh, this is, yeah, let's take a look here. Yeah, so this is much more niche and a lot more expensive. It's basically going to be the same sort of thing. It's going to pump all of those resistances up. So running one of those, oh my goodness, I can't speak today. Running an adaptive shield hardener or reactive shield hardener would replace your DCU essentially for a little bit cheaper, and much more effective EHP because you're boosting those shields. So another thing that is also quite fun, it's not necessarily the most practical, but you can actually put cloaking devices onto your Venture. So if you have, the 5-6 mil it's going to take, you can pop this bad boy on there and just go invisible when somebody warps in. You won't even have to worry about taking a hit at all if you're quick enough to get that cloak on when somebody warps in. Now, this is not going to be good against people who are warping in uncloaked with the covert, because once you're locked, it's going to render your cloaking device useless. So if you're safe enough, or if you have a good hold on your space, then this is quite fun just to go invisible. But definitely not the most ideal. Obviously, the cloaking device is not made for a mining frigate. So that's going to be it on the lows. We'll come in here. So you'll have to pick whatever you would like to do. Obviously, you're going to want to take a warp core stabilizer. The other ones are going to definitely be your choice. Some people really like to stack the shields or the resistances, and basically pick your flavor. The rigs are going to be pretty straightforward, especially the mechanical or the engineering rigs here, since there's only 2 lines that we're going to go through, and it is the miner efficiency upgrade. So this is just going to give you flat bonus amounts to the ores that you're pulling out of those asteroids. These will run you about 4 to 5 million. And the level 2s are like 20 million, so it's a little rough right now, but getting at least one of these is going to boost your ISK per hour exponentially. It's going to be fantastic. And partnered with that is going to be our miner circulation, circulation accelerator. And this is going to reduce that activation time, that cycle time for your miners. So in this case, going from 60 seconds minus 20% is going to bring it into the 40 seconds, and that's going to also increase your ISK per hour quite a bit. These ones are a little bit less expensive, around 4 to 5 million, so about 10 million in rigs on this side. Both of the level 2s jump up to about 20 million, and I don't even think the 3s and above are on the market yet. So take those as you can, and if you have the industrial rig safes from the login bonuses, feel free just to pull those out. They're free, and so if you're waiting to get into a better ship, or if you just don't have the ISK, or you don't feel safe all the way and you don't want to lose 10 million's worth of rigs, just go ahead and put those prototypes on there, those meta level 0s, and they'll give you that boost. It's obviously not as much, but it'll always help. The other side of the rigs here, we're going to be running defensive rigs. Now I have, that I will always recommend, is a core defense field extender. It's just going to give you a flat % bonus to your shield. So like I said earlier, The Venture is a shield tank. It's where most of its HP is, so this is just going to increase that even more. If you have the shield bonus and you're running DCUs, it's just going to make you all that much more tankier. They're not even going to be able to poke through your shields. And then added on to that, you can essentially choose your resistance of choice. Since I'm not running any damage control units, I just wanted to even out my resistances, so I'm going for the anti-EM. And that's just going to bring my resistances a little bit more flat, as you'll be able to see here. Shields naturally have no EM resistance, so that's a big hole. Most pirates right now are running, the stealth bombers with the missiles, so they're dealing mostly kinetic and explosive resistance. So you can definitely stack into that if you feel like you're going to be getting attacked by, players and bombers often. But this is going to be kind of choose your own flavor. Some people do like to stack the core defense field um, because they just want more shields. You will lose that efficiency, so it's not recommended to double up, but you can go ahead and do what you want. These rigs also aren't terribly expensive. If I click the right thing here, we're looking at less than half a mil, and I believe we're in the same boat on this side. So luckily these rigs aren't too bad. Again, if you have the rig safes from the logins, you can go ahead and pull some out and just use those and replace them as you go along. It's better to have, prototype meta level zeros here than nothing. That's going to get you more ISK per hour, and that's just going to keep you alive just that much longer to put yourself into a better ship or to get yourself an upgrade either to rigs, to your lows, or to your highs if you're going for better miners and such. So that's kind of all that there is to fitting out the ventures. Obviously, you'll need to be starting somewhere, but if you're in the Venture 3, this is my full fit essentially, until if I can get faction lasers or level 2 rigs. But aside from that, that's kind of all that there is. If you have questions about this or you want another video or some clarification, please let me know. Shoot me a message, tag me there on Discord, and if not, I will see you in space.